Something unprecedented just happened at the G7 summit, and it's sending shockwaves around the globe. Canada has officially banned former U.S. President Donald Trump from entering the country. Yes, you heard that right. Trump banned by Canada. And the reason behind it? It's deeper, darker, and far more explosive than anyone imagined. Because this wasn't just a diplomatic decision. It was personal. It was political. And it might change Canada-US relations forever. Stay with us, because what you're about to hear will leave you speechless. The G7 Summit, 2025. World leaders gathered in Calgary, Alberta, under heavy security, high tension, and historic stakes. The topics: climate chaos, AI threats, and global trade realignments. But behind the scenes, the real battle was brewing. Not over carbon taxes or tech regulations, but over a single name, Donald J. Trump. Because even though he wasn't an official delegate, Trump had made it very clear he was coming, with or without an invitation. According to leaked memos, Trump's private jet was scheduled to land just outside Calgary, with plans to host a parallel summit, a media circus meant to undermine President Biden, embarrass world leaders, and throw Canadian diplomacy into chaos. His goal? To position himself as the rightful face of the West. But Prime Minister Mark Carney had other plans. Carney, a former central banker turned statesman, was not about to let Canada become Trump's political playground. In an emergency cabinet session just 48 hours before the summit, Carney was briefed on security threats, foreign interference attempts, and intelligence suggesting Trump's team had coordinated with certain far-right groups in Alberta. The RCMP recommended a limited security perimeter. But Carney made a call no Canadian PM has made before. He invoked the Foreign Entry Disruption Protocol, a rarely used legal measure that allows Canada to deny entry to any foreign national considered a threat to public order or diplomatic stability. And yes, that includes former U.S. presidents. That same night, a formal travel ban notice was hand-delivered to Trump's legal team. Canada had just banned Trump. Officially. When the news broke, Trump went ballistic. From Mar-a-Lago, he posted a series of furious Truth Social rants, accusing Canada of censorship, betrayal, and even treason. He called Carney a globalist stooge and claimed that Canada was now, quote, an enemy of free speech. Meanwhile, right-wing media in the U.S. lit up like wildfire. Fox News ran the headline: Canada declares war on Trump. But inside Canada, the reaction was very different. Across provinces, Canadians rallied behind the Prime Minister. Hashtags like #CarneyClapback and #NoToTrump trended across social media. Supporters gathered outside Parliament waving Canadian flags and holding signs that read, "Not in our house. Canada stands tall. We don't do dictators here." Even political opponents quietly admitted this was gutsy. Carney's approval rating jumped 9 points overnight. But here's where things took a chilling turn. Intelligence agencies later revealed that Trump's planned appearance in Canada wasn't just for show. He'd allegedly arranged private meetings with sympathetic Alberta business leaders, including some pushing for secessionist rhetoric. There were concerns, credible ones, that Trump's visit could ignite real unrest. Suddenly, Carney's decision didn't just look bold. It looked necessary. The summit went on without disruption. The world leaders held their sessions, signed key agreements on trade and climate, and presented a united front. But every photo op, every handshake, every joint statement, had an invisible signature. Canada had drawn the line. Across Europe, leaders privately applauded Carney's stand. French President Macron reportedly told aides, "Carney did what we all wanted to do but never dared." Even Germany's chancellor was overheard saying, "Canada's not the little sibling anymore." But in Washington, tension soared. The White House distanced itself from Trump but stopped short of endorsing Canada's move. Some U.S. senators began pushing for retaliatory tariffs. And several GOP figures floated the idea of restricting Carney from future U.S. visits. What started as a travel ban was turning into a diplomatic wildfire. Back in North America, the media war exploded. CNN, BBC, and CBC covered the story wall to wall. Tucker Carlson aired a special segment titled, Canada's Globalist Takeover. Meanwhile, Rachel Maddow called it the most courageous foreign policy move from a Canadian leader since Pearson stood up to Johnson. Every talk show, podcast, and political panel had one question. Was this the moment Canada finally stopped playing nice? Let's zoom out. This wasn't just about Trump. This was about power. For decades, Canada played second fiddle to American diplomacy. But with Carney at the helm, the world saw something new, a Canada that doesn't just follow the script, but rewrites it. A Canada that isn't afraid to protect its sovereignty. A Canada that can draw the line, even when it's the United States on the other side. So where does this go from here? Will the US respond officially? Will Trump attempt to challenge the ban in court? And most importantly, is this the start of a more independent, more assertive Canada on the global stage? One thing's for sure. This wasn't just a political statement. It was a message. Canada's not afraid to lead. This is Maple Flash, where Canadian stories go global. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Do you think Canada did the right thing? We'll see you in the next one.